What if your belly fat has nothing to do with the food you're avoiding, and everything to do with an organ you've never even thought about? Because right now, while you're reading this, your liver might already be working at half speed, and it never tells you until your clothes stop fitting the way they used to. Before we go further, let's make a small deal. If this video ends up helping you, tap that like button. Not for me, but so this reaches someone else who's stuck exactly where you are right now. Hit subscribe if you want more of this. And if you know someone who's been doing everything right and still can't lose that stubborn belly fat, send this to them. It might be the thing that finally explains why. Now let's get into it. Here's something scientists have quietly discovered in the last few years. Your liver has taste receptors. Not taste buds like your tongue, but tiny sensors that respond the same way your tongue does when it hits something bitter. These receptors sit inside liver cells, and when they detect bitterness, they trigger something important. They wake up bile production. Bile is the substance your liver makes to break down fat. Without enough of it, fat doesn't get processed properly. Some of it gets stored in your bloodstream. Some of it settles quietly into your liver itself, and a good portion ends up right where you don't want it, around your belly. This is the piece most diet advice completely skips. You can cut calories, skip dessert, walk every day, and still carry stubborn belly fat because the real bottleneck isn't what you're eating. It's how well your liver is handling what you eat. Think of your liver as a factory floor. Food comes in as raw material. If the machines are running fast and clean, everything gets processed and shipped out. But if the machines are sluggish, materials pile up. Some of that pile up becomes fat sitting inside the liver. Some of it gets pushed out and stored nearby, mostly around your midsection. And just like a real factory, the slowdown doesn't happen overnight. It creeps in slowly, one skipped shift at a time, until one day the backlog is impossible to ignore. Your liver has two main jobs when it comes to fat. First, it makes bile to break fat down so your body can use it as energy instead of storing it. Second, it filters your blood, clearing out waste left over from digestion. Both of these jobs slow down over time, especially once you cross your late 40s and 50s. Bile production naturally drops, and fat stops getting broken down the way it used to, even if your diet hasn't changed at all. This is why so many people say the exact same thing. I'm eating the same way I always have, but the weight just won't come off like it used to. They're not imagining it. Their liver genuinely isn't keeping pace anymore. Here's the frustrating part. Your liver doesn't come with a warning light. It doesn't ache, it doesn't complain, it doesn't send you a text message saying, "Hey, I'm falling behind." Most people don't get any signal at all until one day their jeans feel tighter and they can't explain why. No new snacks, no fast food binge, nothing that seems to justify the extra inches. That silence is exactly why so many people blame themselves, when the real issue is happening quietly inside their liver. Think about how differently we treat other organs. Your heart gives you chest tightness. Your stomach gives you cramps. Even your knees give you a warning ache before something goes seriously wrong. Your liver, by contrast, can be under real strain for years while giving you almost nothing to notice, aside from a slow, creeping shift in your waistline. That's what makes this whole topic so important. You're not looking for a dramatic symptom. You're looking for a quiet pattern. And belly fat that won't respond to normal effort is often the loudest signal your liver ever sends. This is also why bitterness isn't just some old-fashioned food habit. It's a direct signal your body understands. Long before anyone knew about receptors or biochemistry, cultures all over the world were doing this instinctively. A small glass of bitters before dinner in parts of Europe. Bitter greens served at nearly every meal in parts of Asia. A splash of vinegar mixed with herbs before a heavy meal in the Mediterranean. Nobody had lab results to explain why it worked. They just noticed their digestion felt lighter, their energy stayed steadier, and they kept doing it, generation after generation. It's almost strange to think about how much wisdom got passed down through pure observation, with zero understanding of receptors or biology. Grandparents who insisted on a bitter salad before the main course weren't guessing. They were repeating something that had proven itself, meal after meal, for decades before them. Modern science is only now catching up to explain what older generations already knew, through simple trial and error. The good news is, you don't need to overhaul your entire life to use this to your advantage. You just need to know which foods trigger this response, how to use them properly, and how to build them into a routine that actually sticks. And that's what we're covering next. 5 specific foods that work directly on this bitter liver connection, why each one works, how to use it, and exactly who it fits best. The first one is arugula. It's one of the easiest bitter greens to find, sitting in almost every grocery store's produce section. The moment you bite into it, that sharp, peppery bitterness begins signaling your liver to start producing bile. You don't need a complicated recipe. Just take a handful and toss it into a salad you're already making. This works especially well if you're someone who doesn't enjoy spending time cooking, because arugula needs zero preparation. Open the bag, add it to your plate, done. It's also one of the few bitter greens that even people who claim to hate vegetables tend to tolerate well, because the bitterness is sharp rather than heavy. The second is beetroot. Beets carry compounds that support your liver's ability to filter your blood more efficiently and keep functioning steadily throughout the day. Add about half a cup of cooked beets to a salad or a side dish. The taste is mild and earthy, and it blends well with almost anything else on your plate. This one suits people who want the benefit without the strong bitterness, since beets are gentler on the palate compared to leafy greens. If you've ever avoided bitter foods because the taste felt overwhelming, beets are usually the easiest place to start building confidence. The third is mustard greens. These belong to the same family as broccoli and cabbage, and they carry both fiber and plant compounds that support your liver and digestion together. Try lightly steaming them this week. A quick steam softens the sharp edge of the flavor and makes them far easier to enjoy regularly. This is a great fit if you like the taste of cabbage-type vegetables but want something with a bit more bite. Many people who grew up eating cooked greens at home find mustard greens feel instantly familiar, almost like a food they already know how to enjoy. The fourth is chicory. This is one of the most recognizable bitter greens out there, and its root has been roasted and used as a coffee substitute. If it feels too intense the first time you try it, mix a small amount into milder greens like spinach, then slowly increase the ratio as your taste adjusts. This one is perfect for anyone who already enjoys strong black coffee or dark chocolate. In fact, if you already gravitate toward intense flavors in other parts of your diet, chicory might end up being your favorite. The fifth food might surprise you, because most people accidentally throw away the very part that makes it work. It's grapefruit. The real bitterness lives in the white pith just under the peel, not in the juicy segments themselves. Most people peel that pith away completely and lose most of the benefit without even realizing it. Try eating half a grapefruit in the morning, leaving a bit of that white layer intact on the segments. Now here's something you absolutely need to know before trying this. Grapefruit interacts with several common medications, including certain cholesterol drugs, blood pressure medications, and heart rhythm medications. It changes how your body processes them, which can be risky. If you're on any prescription medication, please talk to your doctor or pharmacist before adding grapefruit to your routine. This one is best suited for people who enjoy something fresh and light in the morning and who've already confirmed it's safe with what they're taking. So to recap those five: arugula, beetroot, mustard greens, chicory, and grapefruit. Keep these in mind because what comes next takes their effect and multiplies it. If you've made it this far, that tells me you're actually serious. So here's my honest ask. Drop a comment right now with the word liver so I know how many of you are really planning to try this. It helps me know what to cover next, and it takes 5 seconds. Now let's talk about pairings, combinations where two foods work together. Food rarely works in isolation inside your body. Certain combinations amplify each other, almost like two ingredients unlocking a door. The first pairing is arugula with lemon. Lemon juice cuts through the sharp bitterness of arugula, making it far more pleasant to eat. And the vitamin C in it helps your body absorb more of the beneficial plant compounds already present in the greens. Toss 2 cups of arugula with the juice of half a lemon, a small drizzle of olive oil, and a pinch of salt. Eat this before lunch or dinner, about 1.5 cups at a time. Repeat this 2 or 3 times a week. And within a few weeks, it'll feel as normal as any other side dish on your table. Some people even start craving that sharp, citrusy bite. The second pairing is chicory with garlic. Garlic brings its own liver-supporting compounds to the table, and combined with chicory's bitterness, the two appear to reinforce each other, supporting steadier bile production throughout the day. Sauté a bunch of chicory with 2 minced garlic cloves and a small amount of olive oil for about 3 minutes, just until the leaves wilt. Serve it alongside dinner 2 or 3 times a week. If the bitterness still feels too strong, a squeeze of lemon at the end smooths it out. This pairing works particularly well in colder months, when a warm sautéed side dish feels far more satisfying than a cold salad. The third pairing is mustard greens with lemon. The lemon softens the peppery bite of the greens, while the vitamin C complements their nutrient content. Steam the mustard greens lightly for about 5 minutes, then finish with lemon juice and a touch of olive oil. This makes a wonderful side dish once or twice a week, especially on a weekend when you have a little more time to cook. It's the kind of dish that feels indulgent even though every ingredient in it is working in your favor. The fourth pairing is one almost nobody tries, even though it might be the most underrated one on this entire list: grapefruit with cinnamon. Cinnamon may help your body manage blood sugar more smoothly after eating, and sudden blood sugar spikes are exactly the kind of thing that pushes your liver towards storing more fat instead of burning it. Slice half a grapefruit. Leave some of that white pith intact and sprinkle a small amount of cinnamon on top. This works beautifully as breakfast or an afternoon snack. And again, if you're on medication, check with your doctor first. Once you try this combination, plain grapefruit can feel incomplete. The fifth pairing is endive with walnuts. Endive brings the bitterness, and walnuts bring healthy fat, which actually helps your body absorb more of the beneficial compounds found in bitter greens. Chop 1 small head of endive. Add a handful of walnuts, a tablespoon of olive oil, and a splash of lemon juice. This makes an easy lunch you can prep the night before. It also travels well, so it works just as nicely packed for work as it does eaten fresh at home. You don't need to try all 5 pairings this week. Pick just one, repeat it 3 times over the next several days. Small, repeated actions beat scattered effort every single time. This is exactly where most people go wrong with health changes. They try to change everything overnight, burn out within 10 days, and quietly go back to their old habits, convinced that nothing works. The people who actually see results are almost always the ones who pick one small thing and stay boring and consistent with it. Now let's move to something even simpler. 5 everyday swaps. These require almost no extra effort because you're not adding anything new. Swap 1. Instead of sweetened iced tea, try unsweetened green tea with a slice of lemon. Green tea contains compounds that researchers have linked to lower liver fat over time, and removing the added sugar takes away a common daily burden. Start with just 1 swapped drink a day, and within a couple of weeks, you likely won't even miss the sweetness. Most people who try this are surprised at how quickly their taste buds adjust, to the point where the old version tastes sickly. Swap 2. Instead of white rice, try quinoa or wild rice. These digest more slowly and carry fiber that white rice simply lacks. This means less strain on your liver from sharp blood sugar spikes. This is especially useful if you tend to feel an energy crash. That afternoon slump many people blame on being just tired is often nothing more than a blood sugar spike followed by a crash. Swap 3. Instead of vegetable oil, cook with olive oil. Olive oil contains healthy fats that support liver function. Keep a bottle right next to your stove so it becomes your automatic choice, not something buried in the back of a cabinet. Small positioning changes like this matter more than people expect because convenience quietly decides most of our daily habits. Swap 4. Instead of store-bought chips, try roasted chickpeas. You still get that satisfying crunch, but you're getting fiber and protein. Mix drained chickpeas with olive oil and seasoning, then roast at 400 degrees for about 30 minutes, shaking the pan halfway through. This works great if you like snacking in front of the TV, because the texture holds up and you won't feel like you're missing out. Swap 5. Instead of creamy salad dressing, make a simple vinaigrette. Creamy dressings often contain the type of fat your liver struggles to process. A vinaigrette made from olive oil and vinegar brings back that same bitter profile that supports bile production. Whisk together olive oil, apple cider vinegar, mustard, and salt. Keep it in the fridge for up to a week. Once it's already made, you're far more likely to actually use it instead of reaching for the creamy bottle out of habit. We're closing in on the end of this video, and if even one of these ideas felt useful, that's what keeps this channel going. Tap like before we wrap up, share it with someone who needs to hear this, and if you haven't yet, subscribe for more. Here's something you can use the next time you're at the store. Look for greens with a darker, richer color. Darker greens usually carry more bitterness, and along with it, more of the beneficial plant compounds we've talked about today. Arugula, chicory, radicchio, and endive are usually sitting right next to each other in the produce section. You'll start to notice that the darkest, most bitter-looking leaves in the display case are usually the ones you should be reaching for. Timing plays a bigger role in this than most people realize. Bitter foods and drinks tend to work best 15 to 20 minutes before a meal. This gives your liver a small head start before food actually arrives. If mornings feel too rushed, shift it to right before dinner. What matters more than the exact time is consistency. Doing it the same way most days beats doing it perfectly once. Your liver responds to patterns, not one-off efforts, so the goal isn't perfection, it's repetition. There's one more piece that ties everything together, and it has nothing to do with food at all. It's a walk after dinner, just 15 to 20 minutes. Walking after a meal helps your body use blood sugar more efficiently, which takes pressure off your liver. No gym, no equipment, no special shoes. Just a short walk around your neighborhood, done consistently, and you'll notice a difference. It's one of the simplest habits in existence, and yet it's one of the most consistently underrated by people chasing complicated solutions. Sleep matters just as much, even though it seems unrelated to food. When your sleep gets disrupted, your body produces more cortisol. And elevated cortisol is directly linked to more fat storage, specifically around your belly and inside your liver. Try going to bed around the same time each night. It sounds too simple to matter, but it quietly supports every other change. Think of sleep as the background maintenance crew working, while everything else you're doing during the day gets to count. Let's bring this all together. Your liver has bitter taste receptors that trigger bile production to break down fat. We covered 5 foods: arugula, beetroot, mustard greens, chicory, and grapefruit. We covered 5 pairings that multiply their effect. And we covered 5 simple swaps you can start using in your kitchen today without adding a single extra task to your day. None of this is a magic fix. No single food or swap is going to erase belly fat overnight. What actually works is small, steady changes, repeated day after day, until your liver starts running the way it's supposed to. That's where lasting results genuinely come from 100 small ones that stack quietly in the background. Don't try to do all of this at once. Pick one food, one pairing, or one swap, and use it for a full week before adding more. That's how a habit actually survives past the first few days, instead of fading out like every other diet attempt. Most people fail at health changes because they tried to sprint through 10 changes at once instead of walking steadily through one. Here's your one step for today. Maybe it's arugula in your next salad or a simple walk after dinner tonight. Whatever you choose, start there and build from that one small win. In a month, that habit could be the reason your body cooperates. Your liver has been working quietly your entire life, asking for almost nothing in return. It doesn't complain or demand attention. It just keeps working until one day it can't keep up anymore. Today is the day you finally start paying attention to it. If this video actually helped you understand your body a little better, that's exactly why I make these. Hit like if you're walking away with something useful. Subscribe if you want more videos like this one. And if there's one person in your life struggling with stubborn belly fat, send this to them today. It might be the explanation they need.